Alright, so let's go then to section 7.1, developing systems of linear equations. Please fill out these following notes, and then we're going to get into example 1. Example says we're going to create a linear system to model the situation. The perimeter of a Nunavut flag is 16 feet. The length is 2 feet longer than its width. Create a system. So we have to start by stating our variables. The W is going to be our width, and the L is going to be our length. Let's start with the first sentence, which is the perimeter. Now the perimeter would be 2 W's, because there'd be a W on each side, 2 widths, and 2 lengths, which give us a total of 16, because the whole way around is 16. So we'd say 2W plus 2 lengths equals 16. Again, that's because there'd be 4 sides of a rectangle, 2 of them are widths and 2 of them are lengths. Now the next part here is what's a little bit trickier. It says the length is 2 feet longer than the width. So be careful. The length is longer. So I need this to balance. So again, I'm going to say the length is on one side and the width is on other. But the 2 feet, which side is it going to have to go on to balance with the W, right? So we're going to say the length is the width plus 2. Again, the length is longer. So I have to put the 2 with the width to make sure my equals, my balance, is going to be the same. So now we can verify that she is correct by saying that if it's 5 feet long, that's my length, 3 feet wide, that's my width. So let's plug in the length and the width, the 3 and the 5, into one of our equations and see if it's right. So I'm just going to plug it into the more complicated one because it's pretty easy to see that 5 equals 3 plus 2 for that other one. So let's try the top one. So that means that 2 times 3 plus 2 times 5 equals 16. So let's see, 2 times 3 is 6, 2 times 5 is 10, equals 16. Yes, it does. So we could say that we verified that our equation works with the length and width that she found. Okay, let's look at our next example. Example 2 says, create a linear system to model this situation. In Calgary, a school raised $195 by collecting 3,000 items for recycling. There were 5 cents pop cans and 20 cents for large bottles. So there was 2 different kinds of items. There was pop cans and large bottles. Let's create the system. So let's say that X is pop cans and Y is large bottles. Now let's see, we know that they collected 3,000 items. So that means together, the pop cans and the bottles added up to 3,000 items. So how can we write that? So X plus Y equals 3,000. Now we have to deal with the money. This is maybe a little bit trickier. But in total, they made $195. It was 5 cents for a pop can and 20 cents for a large bottle. So how we could say that is that it's 0.05x, because that's 5 cents but written as dollars, for the pop can, and 20 cents, so 0.20y, and they got a total of $195. So again, it was 5 cents for every pop can and 20 cents for every large bottle, and when I add those dollar amounts together, we got $195. So when you verify, we're just plugging in 2,700 for X and 300 for Y. So you should get 0.05 times 2,700. And how many dollars does that give us? What is it, sorry? 135. And then 0.20 times 300, 60. And when you add that together, you should get 195, not 6.
Another mistake as a
which is a check mark for that one. So as I walked around, I did see that you guys had X was inline and Y was roller skates. If you had it backwards, that's okay. But you had to state what your X and your Y were. One of your equations would just be that your X and your Y would equal 80, because 80 was the total packages of wheels. So if you add the inline packages and the roller skate packages, you have 80 total packages. Now that was the trickier one to come up with, it looked like. But then the other bit of information is all of these 3 parts. So inline came in packages with 8 wheels in each pack, so that'd be 8x. The roller skates had 4 wheels in each pack, so 4y, and the total number of wheels was 440. So my first equation is talking about the packages of wheels, and the second equation is talking about the number of wheels. So those would be your system of equations.
Congratulations.